we're going to be working on the Bellhop Porter again. We did his luggage up yesterday. We got some edging cut in, and not a whole lot of edging, just a little bit, but we did finish up the luggage on his body. Now we've got the luggage on his back. Dude has a lot of baggage. So anyways, we're going to do that today. So first steps first, we're going to start painting some of these base colors in. We got away with Rhinox brown or Rhinox hide for our brown bag. And then we did a green one, which is really cool. I like that. I like that combination. So we're going to go back with that again today. And I think we may do a purple case in here as well. We'll have to see how that works. So don't need that solvent there. Bad place for solvent. So how's everybody doing today? What are you working on, if anything? Because everybody loves a paint along. And I have got clogged paint. Fantastic. That's a good start. Basing TOS starter boxes. That sounds exciting. Maybe not to you, but to us, to me, that sounds exciting. Because it's new stuff, and new stuff is always exciting. All right, let's put our eyeballs on. Get started here. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with this outside one as a brown bag for sure. You have a little bit of rope to contend with, not a big deal. Actually, there's a lot of rope on this guy. It's like wrapped around every single corner. It's securely on there. Yeah, securely fixed in place. I have no idea what this thing is supposed to be. Like maybe a little padded shelf or something. No clue what that is. We may have to take this off of the base to get to some of these little spots here. That's not a big deal. Okay. I think I'm going to do the green one next. It's like a track. So this thing is part of the rack here. Because it looks like it's wrapped in cloth. But then again, I do see that little bar that goes through, like the other one that supports it underneath. I was just trying to figure out what it was. Like we may paint it as like muslin cloth or something like that. Kind of off-white. Because it looks like it might be padding maybe for the rack itself. Maybe to prevent scratches to the luggage or something. Sometimes that's part of the battle, is figuring out what a piece is. If it's not like obviously something jumping out at you, you have to kind of do some creative interpretation. Especially if you're like the first person to paint a miniature, that's always a challenge. I've not been in that position before. Never had like a test model in my hand or anything, but I imagine if you were, and there was no photo references or artwork references or whatever to go by, it would be difficult. Like fun difficult, but difficult. You're excited for the TOS starter pack? Yeah, me too. Yeah, the fabric stretch between the bars. Oh, okay. I see. All right, that works. Yeah, because I don't have that other bar in there yet. That could be part of why I wasn't seeing it. Yeah, I mean, I already have Sonya, but new models in there, and I do have Karai as well, but new models, so I gotta have it. I would really like to see TOS take off in my local area, because it kind of it fills that itch of the large scale wargaming that you don't get with Malifaux. So I'm hoping with the resurgence in this new 2-player starter kit, we can get that going again. You're helping. I can see as the little guy from Simpsons. I am helping. So we want to do. I think we're going to do the middle one brown again. We'll do this one that kind of burnt orange red, and then maybe do this one that purple, or we may do it a blue. That might work. Blue and orange would look really good together. Don't forget we gotta weather these suitcases up a little bit and drop in our non-metallic metal hardware as well. This one actually has corner braces on it. That's a new one. Others didn't have that. Or corner guards, reinforcements, whatever. That one does too. Cool. Something new to paint. We got his other luggage done yesterday, and we did a little bit of edging on him. And then off stream, I ended up painting Maxine last night. She's a fun little model. Not as fun as Orville. I think I've had more fun painting Orville than any other model in recent days or months. I just enjoy that sculpt a lot. And I know this part's not super duper exciting, but once we start doing the detail, I think it will pop. So we're going to do some weathering down on the suitcases and stuff like that, and that will help. So what color do we want to go for the rope? We want to go for our standard, like your standard old hemp rope, or we want to do something like a colored rope, like red to go with his little vest, or something else. God, how much hardware does this piece of luggage have? We're gonna be doing a lot of non-metallic metal on this one. What do we have as our first? I think we did Cavalry Brown. That was it. So the first color, base color for the next suitcase is Cavalry Brown. Which is really, really bright, but it will tone down once we get the wash and everything on it. Oops. We got a little on my brown. We'll fix that up in a minute. Hello, Captain Sneezy Pants. How are you doing today? That, ladies and gentlemen, is my cat. He has a penchant for sneezing a lot. So if you hear a chain reaction sneeze going on, that's the cat. I'm second guessing the blue for the other piece of luggage there. I'm thinking I might go back green. I don't want to get like too crazy with the colors in the sky, so I think we're just going to go back with green. Keep it those kind of fall forest colors. That work with the red. I'm usually one of those people that said, don't be afraid of doing something different. But today I wasn't feeling the blue or the purple. Either one of those was just like, it's going to be a little too paint factory exploded look to it. So let's stick with our more muted palette here. Other than the orange is pretty bright. Go ahead and touch up that brown a little bit. Where we got cray cray with the orange. Okay. Get these a little bit to dry here. I think we're good. And then we'll stick it back on our little plinth here. Okay. So now we'll get our little stippling brush out. Like I said, this is just a brush that I kind of destroyed by sticking it in super glue. So I cut half the brush off. And now it's got this kind of flayed, kind of cone shape with bristles wide apart. And that's what I use for stippling. So this will give us a little bit of a texture and some color variation in the luggage. So for that, we will go to Doom Bull Brown for the brown ones, and followed up with a little bit of Mornfang Brown. And we'll probably end up using a little bit of Japanese uniform mixed in with one of those, depending how I want my highlights to show up, how bright they need to be. So, all right, get a little bit of that Doom Bull on here, wipe most of it off. I wish I had a palette cam to show you what we're doing, but it's basically what you do with a dry brush. You get some paint on your brush, preferably a dry one, reasons, and then wipe 90% of it off, because you just want the paint to come off, and mainly on places you've hit harder, or oops, well, that didn't work too well, did it? Screen dry yet? Places you've hit harder or edges, right? You're wanting to pick up some detail. Now, if you press hard enough, you will create detail yourself, which is fine. That's kind of what I want here. But most of the time, you're going for a dry brush type feel with this. But we want the luggage to look like it's been kind of worn down a little bit, been moved around by the Bellhop Porter more than once, right? Although, if rich people were using the Bellhop, they would probably have new luggage every time, so the weathering probably isn't a thing. But we're just going to have to go with the assumption that they're not rich people. We got a quiet chat today, don't we? Go ahead and do this one over here. Also looking to get into TOS. Cool, Salty. Which allegiance are you planning on going with? Or I think they're called allegiances rather than factions. Because if I were to do it, I'd have to do Gibbering Hordes, I think, just for the sheer coolness of the models. You kind of want to go King's Army. They're a bit over. Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing. Probably because they are the coolest looking ones, I guess. If I were to go with somebody else, it would probably be it was Abyssinia, I think, is the other one. That's kind of like not quite like full on human or whatever. So yeah, those would be probably the next choice, I think. Steampunk Wakanda. I like that. That's good. That's pretty funny. I like that. Abyssinia, Cult of Burning Man. That might be the other one. Cult of Burning Man. That's another one that looks good. Yeah. But Gibbering Hordes is, you're probably right, is a little bit overrepresented. Overrepresented. Cult of Burning Man might be, after this new thing with the burning of Malifaux. They might be the new Gibbering Hordes. I mean, I like my fish people. Yeah. Has some really cool models. They do. You have King's King's Empire, and my King's Hand is my favorite model. Cool. One of the ones I thought was cool, and God, what was her name? I think she's with King's Empire or King's Army. She's very similarly sculpted to Bête Noire, which led me to wonder, was she somehow tied to her in the lore in a way? But she's got this kind of swirl. Margaret Bell, yes, that's the one. Got this kind of swirling effect, bringing her up off the ground, and then she's got these knives in her hand, and it just, I thought somehow that she might be tied into Bette somehow. But like I said, I'm not one of those. I don't get into the lore a whole lot, so I wasn't sure. You had the model. It was amazing. Yeah. That was like I said, one of the reasons I was looking at it, because it was such a cool sculpt. I was like, I don't even collect this game, but I want this model. I mean, that's honestly what got me into so many of the factions, was just because cool model. I don't care. I'm not going to play it more than likely, but I want the models. Hey, Doug, what is up? Hey, apparently we're here for haunted therapy. He's working on his baggage. Yes. Thank you for helping me work through my baggage. That's funny. Well, hello, cat. How are you doing? Everybody says hello to the cat. It's a much quicker game than Malifaux. Oh, I would not have expected that being a larger scale game. That's good to know. Yeah. That's true. I am working on the entire Explorer Society, basically. The only one for Explorer Society I am not working on is Seeker Yedza. And I will be working on that one because I'm doing that one for myself eventually, but I am doing the entire Explorer Society's faction, painting them up. So we got lots of baggage there. But you know what? I kind of like that baggage. That baggage is okay. Oh, he's never mind. Sorry. I was reading something else into that. Yeah, he's carrying everybody else's baggage. I gotcha. Sorry, I'm a little off today, guys. Can you tell? Judging by Lord Cooper's issues, that's a lot of baggage. You don't have people for support if you don't have deep underlying issues. That's true. Which Malifaux master do you think has the most baggage? Ooh. That's a good question. Sitting here figuring it out in my head. I don't know. I'm still sitting there thinking about it. I don't want to have dead air, but yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not quite sure. You'd actually say Sonya? Oh, that was I was kind of leaning towards Sonya or one of the guild masters. Yeah. Yeah. Molly had it pretty rough too, didn't she? Then of course there's I don't know that she's got it rough, but Reva's got some baggage. But as far as who has the most, that I'm not sure on. Just putting it out there, bias the most emotionally healthy faction. He might be right on that. Rasputina does lead a cult of cannibals, and that's not really something you do if you're in a healthy headspace. I would agree with that. Yeah. Okay. Let's get our wash going on that orange one so we can come back to it here in a second. Cry definitely has some anger issues. True. Oh wow. We're going to use an old dry brush because we know that water and Vallejo washes does not mix. See if I can get this stuck back on there for a little bit anyways. Oh, she's actually guilty of that. Oh, wow. Now, did that lead her to being messed up, or well, I guess she was messed up beforehand to actually do that, huh? Wow. Okay. Hello, cat. You put in more appearances today. How did I get purple in my brush? I don't even remember putting purple on my models. Question of the day, folks. How did I get purple on my brush? Remember it being mentioned, but I can't remember if she was guilty or not, but she was convicted and sent to mouth. Oh, wow. Apparently I got purple in that brush and didn't clean it out. That's why it's acting funny. All right. Must have been from the scar from the Bellhop Porter. That was it. That is a lesson, folks, cleaning brushes. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Trying to decide what my next model for stream will be, because I think we're either going to finish this one up today, or I'm going to finish them up off stream, because I don't want to do another stream with the Bellhop Porter. We basically covered everything that I'm working on with him. We did some edging with him. We've done the pin washing. We've done pretty much all the techniques on him, and I don't want it to show off. So for next model, I was thinking possibly about I know we got Gen Con coming up, so there may be some new models on the way for that. So I won't set it in stone, but I'm thinking about possibly doing some of the Trixie keyword, in particular, maybe the Rooster Riders, because they're probably one of the more interesting. Whoa, how did I get that orange there? Whoops. Because they're one of the more interesting sculpts and get a lot of color going on in them. So I want to do those soon. Apparently, Karai translates to hateful, dark, black. Wow. They do have a lot of fun details. And then, I want to paint the birds themselves up really colorful. I'm not sure if they're called bantam chickens or whatever, but the ones that have like the red, blue, orange, and green feathers, as well as the brown main body. That's what I'm looking to paint. Paint them up as. So they'll be nice and colorful. I like color. I don't know if you guys have figured that out yet or not, but I tend to like very bright colors. You've had to paint like 6. Wow. I definitely don't want to paint 6 of them. I'm okay with painting 3, but I don't want to paint 6. I may even be saying I'm tired of 3 by the time I get to them, but we'll see. I think they'll be a fun model to paint. And they're a really strong model for the keyword, so good to have. Especially since we're going to have Mecha Meemaw soon. I'm really excited for that model. I hope she is just like ginormous, like fills that base up from overlapping from one end to the next, like the Malosaurus Rex, but with Meemaw. Do you tend to use real world references for painting things ever? I do. And I will for those for sure. So yeah, definitely. All right. Now we're going to pull into our non-metallic metal colors. Pretty particularly something like animal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's funny, like you can almost have this picture of how an animal print looks in your mind. and then you get to start painting it, and it just kind of like goes right out the window. And I think it has something to do, with that. Most animal prints are camouflaging in nature of some sort, either that or confusing to the senses kind of thing. And I think it's kind of like they just kind of like alter your memory. You think you've got it right, but when you start to apply it, it just doesn't come out that way. So I always have a photo reference if I'm doing animal patterns. Alrighty. So first things first, we will come in with some English uniform. I'm trying to get that little line, the edge in the middle there. Painting your Melisaurus Rex right now, and make sure to look up how the counter shading looks on several different. Cool. Well, no, in fact, Paint My Gremlins actually brought a model into my studio who's part goblin. Wait, what? Say that again. Got my eyebrow twitching with that one. I can't stop it now. Yeah, I imagine it would be tough to find a goblin to sit there while you're painting them. Would probably run out of liquor way too soon. Uh-oh. Is that on my end? Okay. That was, I saw a little buffer going on there. Firstborn child or something. Yikes. That's a heavy duty price to pay. Well, I guess it kind of depends on the child. They're one of those that scream all night and keep you awake. Not so hard to trade that one off. I mean, if you factor the cost of raising a kid, yeah, you're actually saving money. Exactly, that's true. Weird. Home of heartless painters. Not true at all. We are kidding. They could totally have your firstborn. Wow. Wow. Oh, you have no human children. Okay. Yeah, I've strictly got fur children. Although, to be honest, I'm about ready to give one of those away. The equine one. A horse does nothing but injure me. Like one way or another, I'm constantly getting hurt by that stupid horse. Doug goes to the special jail. I mean, having David Bowie as a dad would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Okay, so we're just continuing to cut in the first color of the hardware, which is just English uniform. Remember, we got these corner protectors on this one. As well as the little metal piece that runs down the center. As well as all the multiple latches. This guy's got like 5 latches we got to deal with. And play weird, the special jail where Kyle and I had parties. I don't know if that's the jail he was talking about. At least not until you clarify that you had no human children. Now it might be the party jail. Kind of had to create that line because it is not there on the piece. Okay. When we get done with all these latches and all this hardware, guess what? We got to do all those ropes. Lot of detail in this one little piece on the model. Okay, switch to the other side. Yeah, although it can kind of get, it can almost get overwhelming because you stop seeing some of the detail because you've just been looking at detail and detail and detail for so long. Like when I did the Victoria, like it when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this would be a pretty quick model. I should be able to knock this thing out in no time. And then just like the longer I looked at it, the more stuff I saw in it that needed painting. And I was like, oh my God, this model is going to take me 100 years to paint because she's got all these buckles and straps and doodads and stuff all over her. It was a deceptively difficult model. Devils in the teeth, that's true. Maxine had a good amount too. In fact, I saw, and I thought she was done last night, and I held her up on camera a little bit ago. I thought, oh, I forgot the buckles on her gloves. So she's not done. She's very close to it, but she's not done. So I got the glove straps in there, but I did not get the buckles. Otherwise, I think she's finished. But yeah, when those little details pops out and gets you, hey, you didn't paint me yet. Most detail 4-7 model you ever paint. Which one was the 4? That's the thing though. I will paint it all if it's there, and I can see it with my horrible eyesight. It's going to get painted. That's funny. These are triangular shaped, and the back ones are square shaped. They're triangular on both sides, on all sides, where these are square on the sides. Only triangular. Yeah. Oh, the Desperate Mercs. Oh, okay. Yeah. Those I have not painted yet. I need to get to those. Well, I guess I need to get, honestly, I need to get to all of them. I'm going to paint the other Victoria and the Pseudonym Conflict, Maronin, the Desperate Mercs. Basically the whole damn thing. Okay. Getting there on the hardware here, guys. Getting there. Almost got it blocked in. This is there's definitely a trade-off with detail. I have to stop myself from doing too much with the model sometimes. Just did a model's face, said it's great, I can't touch it now, or I'll run it. Yeah. So sometimes when you decide if you're painting the eyes or not, I almost always paint the eyes, even if they're not that well sculpted. A lot of times, Neverborn, you get this free pass with eyeballs that you can slip a little white in there and then cut back the flesh around it, and you're good to go. Because they're supposed to have that kind of creepy factor, and nothing says creepy like either white or black eyes. I think Demons from Supernatural, with the solid black eyes thing, but instead you're doing it with white. So with Neverborn, you get kind of a free pass, but everything else I will try and do the eyes if I can. The trick I find to doing eyes is I basically do them like a clown. I will draw a very large off-white strip through the horizontal of the eye, okay? And that basically gets like the eye socket and everything. Like the whole thing's basically a big off-white strip, right? And then I cut very thin brown or black line straight up through the middle. So you got this kind of like cross look, big white splotch, brown stripe through the center. And then I'll come in with brown and start cutting in the shape of the eye, right? Around it, getting it shaped up to where it looks like an eye. And so I'll have this big, thick brown ring around the eye at that point, right? And then I just come in and start bringing the flesh up on that line until it gets to the point where it's basically like I've got just a wee bit of brown left as like, lash line or eyeliner or whatever. And that's how I do my eyes. Don't eat raw haggis. It took me a second for that name. I had to like spell it out. I can't imagine anybody eating raw haggis. That would not be good for you. Great name. Bayou, just give them yellow eyes. That is the one exception. I did them and Neverborn, like I said. I did red eyes. Pretty well solid for the Gremlins because that's what they show in the artwork. I did like a little highlight color in there too, but that was about it. You definitely cheat sometimes to make the eyes glow. Yeah, eye glowing, like I said, in certain factions works perfect. Not just Neverborn, but for the most part, Neverborn's a cheater. You can definitely get away with it on it. Thank you. Well, like I said, that's how I started doing them and kind of got over my fear of doing them. And I wish I could tell you who did that first, but I happened to catch it just reading a blog. Somebody was talking about clown eyes, and I was like, "Oh, that's a neat idea. I'll try that." And it's always worked for me. So, but I do wish I could tell you who told me initially. So we could give them proper credit. If the eyes are glowing a little bit on their cheek, it's not me making a mess. It's totally OSL. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Yep. Not sure where the handle is for this little suitcase, if it even has one. Hey, Lord Korok. Yeah, that's a lot of baggage. We have pounded that joke into the ground, I think. Yeah, that's a lot of baggage. How are you doing, sir? Okay, so we got all of our hardware has been blocked in now. So we'll go from there. Start working on the metallic look to it. Sometimes I use Black Pigma micron pen to do the eyes. I had never had much luck with that one. I've tried, but for the most part with Malifaux, especially the female eyes, because they always seem to be smaller, of course. I've never had really good luck with it. So that one doesn't work for me, unfortunately. Okay, so we will go to Japanese uniform next, and we'll paint over most of this line we just did. With that, this will brighten it up a good bit. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people use the micron pens, especially for things like those words, purity seals for that other company's little miniatures. They'll use those pens for writing the text on those. Me, I always did it with a brush. It's a 0.2 mile. I've got, I think what I use is a 0.2. It's a very tiny little pen. It's like while the tip may be that size, the rest of the pen isn't, and it just doesn't seem to go where I want it. Don't forget the bottom edge. We do have to do that as well. You have to make sure the paint is dry and be careful not to scratch the paint with the tip. Okay. Write the text on the money inside the huckster's cloak. Nice. I'll have to give a second look at mine. I don't think I have them handy. Otherwise, I'd pull them out and look. But got a little crazy with that one. I will have to correct that. Don't worry. Be happy. We will fix it. A little bit here on the corners of this. A little corner guard or whatever it's called. More latches. Yay. Okay. Drag this line down the side here a little bit. And basically continue this with the English uniform, or Japanese uniform, excuse me. Let's see here. The line weight on the 5 macron is 2.2 mil. I don't think they make a smaller weight. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Like I said, I don't know. I'd have to go look at them, but I'm fairly sure I've got the whole set. Maybe I was afraid that the too small one would potentially wreck the paint. Maybe that's why I didn't use it. I don't know. I've just found doing the eyes is easier with a paintbrush. Lizard weights because I print at 0.2 millimeter later. The only way you can remember. Okay, I gotcha. Relating it to the printing. Gotcha. I need to get back on my my learning for that. I'm got a couple projects in mind. First and foremost is a 10 millimeter army for a fantasy game. I got some in mind for a certain board game. Okay, so we got that Japanese uniform knocked in. Now we'll take a little bit of Japanese uniform and ice yellow mix, and we'll go back over and do some smaller highlights on this. Hey Z, how are you doing? Well, printing info not a problem. 3D design info is what I need to pick your brain for. Printing stuff, I got that stuff down. It's just the design portion that I need to work on. We did not come back and fix that green like I said I did. We were going to, did I? Let's do that now before I forget again. Home early today? Fantastic. The word is like a bell. What are we talking about? For a certain board game that's coming out soon from you guys, I was planning on making some 3D sculpts that I can print and play on it. Rather than the stand-ups. So we know Kyle's word. If we ever need Kyle's help, all we have to do is mention the word board game, and he'll come running. That's good. You got home early. Early is good. I am working on the luggage for the Bellhop Porter that we've been working on the last couple of streams. So he's got some baggage in his arms already, but then he's got this pack that sits on his back up here like that with a little support stand with more luggage on it. Well, that worked out good. I didn't even think about that. We got the orange on the opposite side of the orange here. Nice. Good symmetry. If you say board game 3 times, it summons weird Kyle. Yes, it does. Actually, I think only once. So we're getting this goal kind of knocked in now. Just going to do it kind of at the top edges now on these corner pieces. Fun game. What would you have to say? What would someone have to say 3 times to summon me? Are you asking me, Doug? because it's been a kind of running joke whenever I'm watching streamers, if anyone, which is not that often, right? Unfortunately, it's not spread around that much on Twitch yet. That's what I've been fighting for years, to get the word of Twitch out there, the good word of weird out there on Twitch. So I've basically done nothing but stream it for the last year, and so anytime anyone mentions Malifaux or weird, it's like, I have been summoned, and I'll engage the conversation then. But I think that's going to be changing soon now because of this outreach program. Okay. Yeah, it is. I think, especially after Gen Con, I think with Gen Con, with Weird being such a huge player at Gen Con, being like front and center on the floor space and stuff, I think it's gonna be a huge boost to their presence and media outreach. So it's gonna be awesome. And can't say anyone deserves it more, honestly. I fanboy a little bit because they're a local company, but yeah, definitely deserve it. Okay, so most of that hardware, I think, is kind of in place where we want it at this point. Now we'll come in and do a wee little bit more spot highlighting with some pure ice yellow. Yeah, me too. We won't do it on all of it, but just little bits of it here and there, just enough to kind of carry the effect. Okay. Get down here before we forget about this one. Extend the other color up just a wee bit because we kind of obliterated it there. Okay. Got those. Let's go back in here and get a little bit more on the top of that suitcase. The brown one here. The big boy suitcase. Get it right here at the corner? I think I did. We did now. Sorry, did not mean to smack the camera. Okay, a little bit here. The green one. And on that More there. So almost got the hardware. A little bit more here on these handle areas. And that will be done. Okay, so now we got to do the rope and the handles. Whew. Details, details, details. Okay. One thing I am going to do, I'm going to come back in here and kind of reinforce the line around this this orange one's trim here. I may do this on the green as well, because theirs looks a little on the iffy side. Maybe right here too. So this will be seen in the front. So that's a little bit of black and the brown mixed, just to give it a little more separation. Also to clean up any potential lines that got out of hand. Okay. Probably don't need to do it down here, but I'm going to do it anyways, just because. There's always that one person that has a magnifying glass and a mirror, and they're starting to look up underneath your model and go, hey, you didn't paint this. No, I did. Just take that stuff and go right on out. This one in particular, because like I said, this line is very, well, basically it's non-existent. I pretty much painted that line in, so give it a proper shadow there. To help it out. Okay. I think that's pretty much everything that needs to be done there. Go ahead and start painting on the handles. Go do this orange one in black. also do the green one in black as well. Actually, maybe that one in black too. Black candles for everybody. Everybody gets black candles. You get a black candle. You get a black candle. Everybody gets black candles. Kind of miss a little area painting down there. I'll have to fix that up there. Yeah, definitely faster. Well, yeah. How many suitcases have metal handles? Most of them have a faux leather wrapped handle of some sort. So that was what I was shooting for. But yeah. Wow, that one just doesn't want to paint on there, does it? And I just painted over some NMM. Fantastic. That's okay. Yeah, that little overhang, I'm surprised that came out so well on the skull, because it's like the handle's like this, and then the details up underneath it like that, way up underneath it. And there's still a nice, well-defined well in here, which is surprising with the amount of undercut there, or overcut, whatever it's called. And if, I didn't need to do all the trim and NMM or anything like that, but for some reason, I feel like weird miniatures need non-metallic metal. And the reason is because of the scale. Being true scale means they're smaller and frailer and, just generally finer detail, right? And when you paint with metallics, most metallics paints have, I don't know, mica content or whatever that gives it that reflective property. And the mica is in relatively big flakes. Now you can get some that are finer, don't get me wrong, but in general, the mica flakes are pretty large. And it tends to look fake on Malifaux miniatures because you see that grain from the flakes in it. Now, it's not the case always, and there are some people that do some amazing things with true metallic metals. I am not one of them. I've always done better with the other. Like, just to give you an example, I think I've showed this before, but these are 10 millimeter scale, and I painted them with regular metallics, right? And you can see the flakes of the metal in the spear, and the same in the gold, and it does not look realistic because of the scale versus those flake sizes. And I feel like Malifaux is kind of the same department, even though they're obviously not this small, okay, but they are smaller than your average war figure, right? So yeah, I feel like Malifaux kind of needs non-metallic metal. Okay, so let's get our black highlights out. Typically use Reaper or Dark Reaper and Fenrisian Gray for black highlights. Your mileage may vary, but that's what I typically use for a simple highlight. Sorry about that, guys. The hiccup. Also, warps the proportions of an enemy and weapons less than. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Being true scale. Um, they're actually close to being anatomically correct, and scale proportioned. So yeah. When I first started painting Malifaux, I did do a lot of metallics on it just because I wanted to get them on the table kind of thing. But now I found that I'm going back and I'm repainting all the ones that I did with true metallics, and I'm going back and painting them with non-metallics because, like I said, I feel like it looks better on the Malifaux miniatures. That's just my opinion, though. Take that with a grain of salt. Get your finger eraser in there. Okay. Handles are highlighted now, which is ironic since the breach is supposed to offer things that pass through it. Yeah, well, maybe not everything, huh? Okay. What color are we going to use for the rope? Feel like we're going to use some more English uniform because why not? That's my favorite color, apparently. We'll put it down. We'll put a little wash down, and then we'll highlight it up with some the words. Ushab T-Bone. That's the one. Actually, you know what? I don't like it. We're going to stop right now. That just blends in too much. We're going to go back with the red rope idea that I decided on earlier. I toyed with that idea and it's like, well, we'll see how it looks in the end. We're going to go with a red rope, like a climbing rope kind of thing, because that just blends in way too much. This will stand out a bit. Clearly borrowed from the Alpines. Yeah. Well, that model's on the list sometime soon too. So, yep, we'll definitely be using that. Once I get the front done, I'll stick it back on its little base so we don't handle it quite so much. Or at least get the base coats down on the front. I mean, I definitely like this better. It may not be the best color, but I think this is definitely going to stick out a little bit more. Contrast a little better than regular hemp rope would. And that is the name of the game, is some contrast, right? Well, name of the game is Malifaux, but you know, contrast is king. Thank you for that like there, Weird Father. Okay. Almost done with the front here, and then we can get it back on the plinth so I'm not just mommicking it all the time with my hands. I'm curious how they actually tie these things together. This rope just doesn't look like it quite cuts it the way it's wrapped. Okay, get that back on the plinth. I keep calling it a plinth. It's not really a plinth. It's a piece of sticky tack, but it keeps me from wrecking the paint job too much. At some point, I actually need to get around to making some more plinths. That's a tough word to say. Plinths. Things that you stick display models on. Yeah, those things. Because I got a whole bunch of black walnut that came from the trees got down during the big tornado here. We had I don't know if it was an E5. I think it was, or F5. I think it was an F5. It was a big tornado. And it blew down so many of the trees at the property. And among those was a bunch of black walnuts. The lucky thing is with those, because they were close to the streams, the soil was soft, so they were just ripped up rather than twisted off and sheared like the rest of the white pine was. It was just, that stuff was just splintered. But the black pine retained its grain and everything because it just was uprooted. So I was able to scavenge it and make plinths for miniatures. Magic rope trick wizard did it. Yes, that's true. Could be. Could very well be. I think what gets me is where it does this weird wrap around, but stays next to the luggage, where it should actually stay, pull away from it. But that's sculpting. You can't do anything about that. Well, that's what I said. I don't know how well this rope would actually hold this. Twister was so big. Bill Paxton was. Yes, yes. Actually, he was. They filmed that movie at our property. We had cows flying around and everything. It was. I mean, it. Like I said, if it wasn't an F5, it had to be close. It was about 2.5 mile wide path that was just obliterated. Um, Everything in that 2.5 miles was just gone, just bare earth. Rule of spool. It's the rule of cool for those ropes. There you go. The rule of cool. Yep, that works. Just don't try and move your furniture like that, folks. I know, man. I've been playing around. You know why? I like to rib. Okay. Does that need more separate pieces? No, no, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you. We're okay. We're all fine here. How are you? No, thank you. No more pieces needed. We do not need individual rope fibers. Thank you very much. Don't tempt the powers. We understood. Understood. Yeah. Next thing you know, we're braiding our own hemp for rope for the models. No, we don't need that. Every time you complain about a model not having enough pieces, another model gets your cut off, and it's oh dear God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, future model builders. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. It made me cackle. Good. Good. Okay. Gotten just about most of the rope done here. At least the first color. And of course, we'll have to do some stuff beyond that, go plus ultra, but sorry, I've been watching My Hero Academia. I think it's my favorite anime so far. This is kind of strange, but I think it is. If you can make play weird cackle, you have accomplished your mission for the day. Yep. Mission accomplished. Oop. Dadgummit. Really, dude? Really? Sticky tech is one of those things. It either sticks like crazy and will peel your paint off, or it has no stiction whatsoever. It's an either or situation, an absolute. There's no middle ground with blue tack. It drives me nutters. Okay, so now we'll go to Evil Sun Scarlet. We're going to do a lot of little tiny dots on this rope. Not a whole lot because we only have 15 more minutes, but we're going to be doing a lot of dots while we can. How about that? Yeah. So. I probably need to get my big eyeballs out for this job, I think. The ones that make me look kind of like a bug. So, I won't be doing this like all over the rope, but just like like where it's stretched a little bit, where it would have the most stress. Favorite is the Elmer's glue tack. It's the only one I found that doesn't turn rock hard. Still keeps small. Oh, I may have to give that a try then. I'll be honest. I used the Walmart crap. That could be part of the problem. But the amount I use, the quantity I use, that kind of is necessary, right? That's a little better. Now I can actually see the model. Before we were just painting with the force, guys. And ours is pretty reusable, so I find myself buying this. Very cool. I will give that a shot. I'm assuming I can get that at like any office supply or Walmart type place, right? Being Elmer's glue. Should be able to. Hear that skill with a paper brush. It's something I've said in my channel before that I mostly paint with the force because my eyes are so bad that I can't really see the details. I'm just kind of, yeah, I think it should go there. Feeling the model. Reach out with my feelings, and that's where the paint should go. Oh, that's the thing. You've had a hard time finding it lately. Well, of course you have. Why not? Everything's harder to find now. I've got to get my Walmart on a truck day, which at mine is Friday in the morning, because I've only got 6 quarts of alcohol. And I have a feeling we're about to go back into another lockdown. So I want to make sure I'm stocked up again. Because I was dangerously low. Like I had maybe 15 milliliters of alcohol left from the previous lockdown when I was finally able to source some more. And I mean, I basically had cut out airbrushing entirely. The only thing I airbrushed was my primer layer. That was it. I didn't do any more airbrushing because it required cleaning the brush, and cleaning the brush required alcohol, which I didn't have. Oh, clean this stuff, 91%. But getting magical laser eyes really improved. You know, I have watched too many horror movies to do that. Unfortunately, I am forever turned off the idea of having a laser going at my eyeballs. It also does not help that one of my best friends got it done and they burnt the crap out of her cornea. She almost went blind. But she's wearing a stronger magnification lens than she was before the surgery. It's like cleaning an airbrush can require both. It can. It depends on how bad the job is. 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah. We passed that one a bit ago. But yeah, I would love to be able to see 100% again, but I cannot bring myself to do the laser. Now, if I could do like maybe one eye at a time, I might consider it. But I don't think anybody will do that now. I think they do both, or they don't do them at all. I mean, that way I could at least, have something to fall back on. If they screwed up the first eye, at least I'd have the other one still. It's good to be able to get rubbing alcohol again. I use a lot of it with resin. Yeah. Now see, I use water washable for my resin printing, so I don't have to use it for that, luckily. But I do use a lot of it for, cleaning and maintaining my airbrush and stuff. So it definitely put a change in the way I painted. The other thing is I don't use airbrush much on stream because I'm afraid of the noise of the compressor. I'm afraid it will interfere with the painting too much, so I don't use it very often when I'm streaming. And it's not that it's that loud, honestly. It's probably one of the quieter compressors on the market, but it's one of those things. Audio issues on Twitch is like one of the what do you call it? Like golden rules. One of those things that somebody will leave your channel in 2.5 seconds if the audio isn't good. So I just rather than risk somebody coming in, hearing the compressor and it being too loud for them, I just don't use it. But yeah, if you like alcohol, I would probably start trying to buy some if you can. Because I don't know how much longer it's going to be available. At least here in Georgia. I don't know. You're in Texas, so I have a feeling you're probably one of those threatened with lockdown again too. Used it on stream for the first time last week just to do some blood splatter. That wouldn't be too bad, honestly. That wouldn't be too horrible. Because, I mean, that's a relatively short blast. I said I wasn't going to paint all of them, didn't I? Boy, did I lie. Very close to all of them, huh? We still haven't gotten to the final highlight color. Honestly, the sound of an airbrush isn't as bad on stream, and a lot of people who tune in are interested in learning better. I guess there's that point. I always feel like there are people out there that could do a better job of teaching airbrush. Honestly, I'm good with it, but I'm not like teachable level. I don't think it's a tool to get something done, but I'm not like a wizard with it or anything. Just make sure no one tunes in expecting ASMR. Yeah, there you go. Okay, guys, we are getting very close. We're down to like under 10 minutes, so I'm going to try and get as much of this knocked out as I can. Ooh, I totally missed that little bit right there. Look at that, guys. There's a rope hiding there, and I didn't even see it. Yo, kitty cat. How you doing, sir? So we have some wide variety background people here. Does anybody do RC anymore? RC cars? That used to be one of my favorite things I was into before I found miniature painting. It has kind of died off in Georgia. Hidden details of Alpha never happens. That's true. It doesn't. 100% never. Not personally, but there's a very active RC community of the shop. That's nice. Good to hear there's an active one. Like I said, it's very rare to hear or see anything RC in this area anymore, and it's rather a bummer. I mean, God, the amount of money I spent on RC stuff. Good Lord, I could have bought a house like 3 times over. But I race competitively, at national levels. I never did super good. Like I wasn't A main specialist, but I was B main at nationals. But you never saw my name in the magazines because it was B main, right? Only A mainers got there. But I got to meet some of the big boys of racing back then, which was cool. Misaki, no, was it not Misaki? What was his name? God, can't remember now. The dude could drive with his feet. He was the most amazing thing. He'd set a stick controller down on the ground, prop it up, and would drive with his toes and drive around the track almost as fast as he did with his hands. Fred Flintstone. I don't think Fred Flintstone had that dexterity. Don't personally do RC, but a friend I know through Malifaux has got really into it the past couple of years and commissioned me to design and print a handful of pieces. That's interesting. That's cool. I'd actually plan on being doing that myself because I've got a couple older cars that companies are no longer in business and I need replacement parts. Well, yeah, he did drive with his feet. That's true. So yeah, guys, we're basically right at the end here. So thank you guys for tuning in. We got the luggage almost done. I've still got a little bit of work to do on the rope. We did not get to finishing his edging, but I think I'm going to finish that off camera because I don't think you guys want to see that anymore. Next stream, we'll either work on some roosters from over there, or we'll work on more of this EVS Society. There's my linkage there for social media. So if you guys would give me a like and follow and subscribe, whatever, off of there, that would be great. Thank you all for coming out here to see us at Play Weird. Let me check our schedule because I have completely forgotten who plays next. We'll get it in a second. It's so hard to scroll through all this. Okay. Next we have Eleanor tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, it looks like. And then after her is Doug at 3 p.m. Eastern, it looks. Yeah, looks like I said, it's hard to see that small picture, but I do believe that is correct. So Eleanor and Doug tomorrow, I believe, for starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. Again, thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you guys in other streams, and take care. Have a great day. Hobby on.